Technicolor dream makes you feel like you're floating upstream. Through the door before the angels know you're one of them. Love forever.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm sorry to disrupt your lunch today. Our lunch today is sponsored by Comcast, and as I mentioned earlier this morning, this year has been very special working with some of the sponsors, exhibitors, and speakers. And our next sponsor really took the cake here. The 8 months that I had a chance to collaborate with them was one of the most fun I've had in running this conference. And I just want to say a special thank you to Lindsay Moyer and Andy Davis. Thank you for your collaboration. So please join me in welcoming Elad Nafshi, Chief Network Officer at Comcast. Elad leads the architecture, engineering, and operations of one of the world's largest and most advanced broadband networks in the world. With over 2 decades of experience in driving innovation and scale, he brings deep insight into the future of connectivity and the evolving demands of the digital economy. Elad? The one thing I would say before he speaks is, if you have some time, please Google him. He's a fascinating gentleman, and I look forward to learning a little bit more about your background, so thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Okay, can you hear me? Oh, here you go. You can hear me now. Excellent. Well, you know, it's always exciting. Are you okay? Do you need? You got it? Yeah, no, okay. Thank you. I'm worried about you, man. So, you know, typically when, we get to talk about the network, there's typically drinks involved afterwards. Sadly, you get to, enjoy your lunch while listening to me talk about network and technology and how we enable connectivity to more homes than any other provider. But today, what I'm going to try and make it as interactive as I can, and I'm going to tell you about the future of connectivity, because connectivity is really not stagnant. It continues to evolve. And while I am responsible for the network organization at Comcast, I stand here representing the cable industry who connects more Americans and delivers more gig services than any other service providers out there. And we do that with great partnerships with leading technology leaders such as Meta, Netflix, YouTube, Apple, Google, NVIDIA, and so on. And I'm going to come back to the partnership as we go through the presentation, because you'll see how critical the network is to enable all of this technology and all of this innovation. I started by saying that the network is not stagnant. The network continues to evolve. The network constantly changes. And it's really driven by all of us, the consumers, the businesses, the needs that we have every day. And so laying the fiber and connecting point A to point B is the easiest part. Running it, scaling it, and adapting to our needs as consumers is really where the challenge is. And it really drives out of what we do online. What do we do when we connect? How do we leverage that connectivity? And during COVID, as an example, our network was stretched to all new heights, right? No one built the network to foresee this scenario where we all go home and we all jump on Teams or Zoom or what have you, and we stay home for 2 years while working from home and educating from home and being entertained at home, right? And yet we did. And the challenge for the network was, was quite daunting, because when you look at, for example, the consumption per household on our network during COVID was around 500 gigabits. It's a lot. And you're going to say, okay, well, that was the peak of it, right? Well, the reality is that today, that's 800, and it continues to climb. And it all is driven by, again, what we do and what we use the internet for. And that's just on the residential side. The business side is actually growing even faster. Because think about walking into any commercial establishment today, how connected you need to be, from the cash register to the interaction to all the systems that you have in a modern business needing to connect online. And so on the business side, all of these translate into greater demands on the network and greater demands on the connectivity, the quality of it, in order to enable business to continue to grow and continue to evolve. And all of that translated to over 140% data consumption increase between 2020 and today. Pretty remarkable. And when you really look at, okay, well, now what? What's next? Think about the evolution of live linear sports. Okay? It used to be that if you wanted to watch the big game, and by the way, I was totally going to put an Eagles player here, but out of consideration to where I am at today, I hear that Colorado does have a professional NFL team. I heard, I'm not sure. But anyway, if you wanted to watch the games, you used to be able to go to Fox or ABC or NBC or ESPN and just watch it, right? And then about 3 years ago, Thursday Night Football became a thing, and that's on Amazon Prime. And then Sunday Ticket moved from DirecTV into YouTube, and a lot of these games are now carried exclusively over the internet. And when you look at what that does to the internet itself, I'm going to show you this Super Bowl to Super Bowl, right? So Super Bowl of 24 to Super Bowl of 25, and this is what the traffic looked like on our network. Okay, what do you notice here? What what kind of jumps out? Anyone? What's that? Spikes, that's right. Spikes. The traffic obviously continues to grow, and the traffic is spikier, right? There's a lot of it. And what it really comes down to is that the overall network traffic increased by about 16.5%, of which 14% were driven by live sports. Category that didn't even exist 3 years ago. And you say, okay, well, how hard is it? You just, have a camera on the field, you send that over the internet, what's the big deal? Well, then you have events like this, right? Where apparently it's harder than it looks, right? It's just a fight. How big of a deal is it? Anyone here try to watch that? That was fun. And not just because of the fight itself. And so, when you really think about, what the network needs to evolve and what the network needs to deliver, and we talked about the live linear sport, when you look at the top 12 events on our network in 2024, you notice two kind of, key themes. Those spikes that you were seeing were really driven by live sports events and online gaming, okay? And in fact, the most highest capacity day ever in the history of our network was really driven by Fortnite Live. Now, for the folks here who don't know what Fortnite is, that is a very popular game. They did a big release that came with a live streaming event, and that was the most heavy usage that we've seen on our network in 2024. Now, anecdotally, and this, kind of gives you faith in the strength of our communities and our families. Notice that the Christmas Netflix games were they rank at number 8. And so when we're done unwrapping, all the gifts, and we're done, the mandatory dinners, what do we want to do? We want to watch football. It's pretty interesting. And that's what we're able to deliver on the network. And that's a challenge that we have, is how do we continue to evolve that? Because guess what? I'm going to make a prediction. It's a bold one. Jeff, write it down. Exactly 1 month from today, September 5th, is when the football season starts. It's going to be, the first game is going to be a Kansas City Chiefs game out of Brazil. It's going to be carried exclusively on YouTube. And this one is going to be in front of the paywall. You don't need to be a YouTube customer to be able to watch that game. And I predict that that's going to be a new peak on the internet. We'll see. Measure it in a month from now, but it is a very, very exciting on the network side, right, to be able to have the network that could deliver an event like this, and we're pretty excited to be able to have our customers enjoy that event. Now, all of this is connected seamlessly to all of these devices that we now have at home. And I was just chatting about this during lunch about how Wi-Fi really powers and connects everything that we have, right? And so if you're like me, every time I go to Costco, I find something new that I needed to buy, that needs to connect, that I didn't know about, that comes in a big package, right? And the reality of it is that Wi-Fi enables and fuels everything. Everything that we want to do online, everything that we interact with, well, it's now almost for granted, but it really isn't, because in order to enable everyone, in order to make it ubiquitous, in order to truly take advantage of the network that we're building, all the innovation that I'll talk about, well, you need to do that on multiple devices. And we see 36 connected devices in an average home today. And that only continues to grow. We see 94% of devices in home in general are connected over Wi-Fi. You no longer need a wire. And 90% of mobile cellular data, okay, is actually carried over Wi-Fi. So every time you go home and you just connect your phone to charge, you don't know that, but your phone goes up to the cloud and it backs up everything, and all of that is done seamlessly, and all of that is done over your Wi-Fi connectivity at home. And so the criticality of Wi-Fi only increases, and we're very proud to be able to deploy the very latest Wi-Fi technology, Wi-Fi 7, and all of our new gateway devices that enables our customers to benefit from the great network innovation that we're putting in place, and to do all of that seamlessly, regardless of where in the house they are. Now, all of that is now connected to something new, something that hasn't existed just 2-3 years ago, and that's this AI term, right? Artificial intelligence, artificial intelligence, as it is right now, is just getting started, right? It's just being built. And it's being built for use cases that we're just beginning to imagine. But guess what? All of that needs to connect somehow to you, the consumers, to the businesses, to the offices, to all the applications that will ultimately leverage that AI revolution. And as data centers are being built across the US at a speed like never before, and as more and more of these come online and make the compute power that they're housing available to us, the consumers, the network becomes even more critical, right? Because how you bring that compute to the devices that you have at home or to the services that you rely on, that's where really the network comes in. And our network is not only ready for it, it is enabling it as we speak. And it does that with a lot of innovation. And let me explain how it all comes together. Obviously, speed and connectivity are key. And it used to be that gig services were enough for anything you could possibly imagine, and then that transitioned to 10 gig, and today we're installing 100 gig connections, and we're starting to scale up to 400 gig, and you can get the picture, right? More capacity, greater speed, bigger pipes in order to enable all of this innovation. But that's just one part of the story, because in order to be able to go ask ChatGPT what the weather is like in Denver in the month of August, okay, the response back, how quickly I could go and interact with that, really depends on something called lag, latency. How quickly or how responsive the internet really is. And the good news is that we at Comcast have pioneered a whole new generation of low-lag services that enable just that, the fastest response, the most nimble connection when it comes to the information that you want to get to. And I thought I would show you an example of what that means by leveraging the fastest human event, since we're talking about AI, on the planet, and that is the men's 100-meter dash. And that's, I'm going to show you what the men 100 meters dash final was in the Paris Olympic this past summer on the Comcast network versus some of our competitors. And so this is what lag looks like on the Comcast network. You see there after the races. And we're going to let the affixed wireless veterans get a little bit more time. They're going to need it. And they're now after the races. And then we're going to need to let YouTube catch up because they're from California. And they're going to need a little bit more time to kind of crunch everything and bring it all to bear. And now they're after the races. And I'm not going to make you wait for DirecTV and Dish. Trust me, they ran the race. Eventually they did. Or you could just go online and find on a Comcast connection who won the race. That's why latency is so important, okay? But when you translate that into the AI revolution, right, this is the difference between being able to scan an asparagus, have video AI recognize it as asparagus, connect it to the pricing, and be able to self-checkout when you're ready to self-checkout. You need a network that has the speed, that has the capacity, that has the latency built in to enable a simple transaction like that. And that's exactly what we're doing, and that's exactly how we're building it. And AI is not only at those hyper data centers, is really optimizing everything that you do today as a Comcast subscriber. It's at the service of our customers in terms of driving next level reliability into everything that we do, because you, the consumers, expect us to be a primary service. It's like power. It either works or it doesn't work, right? And when it doesn't work, how happy are you with us? Not very happy, right? And the technology that we're building is really built around that concept, right? Because you, the consumer, don't really care if there's a truck that went into an intersection and brought down all the fibers in that area and caused that outage, okay? Or whether someone decided to dig up their backyard and pull up our fibers while they're doing that, okay? Or whether a squirrel chewed on the cable that drops into your home and caused that outage, and everything in between, right? You want to make sure that, hey, I'm paying for the service, it needs to work. And this is really where AI comes in, and it's building on platforms and technology that we've built and invested billions of dollars into over the last several years that enables us to do one very simple thing. We see what you feel. We see it in real time. And when we're able to see it, we're able to respond to it. Because if it's something that we could self-heal without you even knowing about it, we want to be able to self-heal. And when we can't, when that example of the truck going to the intersection actually happens, we're able to pinpoint with precision where is it, what to do when you get there, and how to fix it. And just to put that in perspective, our platform, our edge compute platform, and you actually see what that looks like. Those cabinets that you're seeing in the back, each and every one of those cabinets houses cutting edge compute platform that we've, at Comcast, built and pioneered for the industry that enables all of your connectivity services, all of it. This is what it actually looks like. And 77% of the alarms that are on this platform that powers all of our connectivity services are completely self-healed with AI operations that we've built and continue to optimize every day. And every day that 77% gets even higher and higher as we're able to automate even more. And why does that matter? Because it translates directly into reliability, into your service, into your interaction into everything that you do every day. And that's how we are able to deliver on 99.99% reliability today, and that continues to grow as the technology becomes even better, even smarter, even more automated, and even more AI-powered. And we're able to do that regardless of the wire. It doesn't matter whether you connect it to us over fiber, over coaxial cable. The same underlying edge compute platform which I showed you powers both. It powers it seamlessly. The AI controls both, and we're able to do that to each and every one of the 64+ million homes that are connecting to our network. And we're able to do that with the speed that our customers rely on, and we're able to do that with a whole new generation of powerful intelligence that is hidden in plain sight. So I challenge you when you go home and you walk around the neighborhood, you're going to see one of those green cabinets there, okay? And typically it's within a few feet away from your home. The kind of green cabinets, what's in there? Well, as we're building and transforming our network, we're actually embedding a whole new generation of AI-capable chipsets that track everything that you then feel, has pattern recognition capabilities to be able to pinpoint and identify any type of impairment that we're seeing in the network in your area, self-heal it when we can, and when we can't, be able to dispatch our technicians to the exact spot on the network where your issues are. And that's not PowerPoint, that is live platforms that are powering our connectivity systems today and will be deployed nationally across our footprint over the next 2 to 3 years. And this platform, which engineers will geek out on this, what really cool about this is that it's always solving, it's always optimizing, and it's always protecting. Never stops. It's not like there's an 8 to 5 hours. It does that 24/7 constantly. And millions of times every day, this technology enables us to make tweaks, optimizations, truly enabling the best services to you, our customers, and do that seamlessly across the board, and again, making millions of decisions every day, enabling us to do that. Now, this edge compute platform is really reliant on the fact, and I talked about how this is literally feet away from your home. We're never more than 5 milliseconds away from your customers. And the reason why that's important is because we can act faster. We could respond faster. We can optimize on the fly. We could truly enable that expectations that you have, that it always works. And when we do that, we're able to deliver services like never before. And so these cabinets that you see here, notice the color of the cabinets. We're going to come back to them later. They're never stopping, and they're always evolving. And so we started to deploy these edge compute platforms about 7 years ago. Just to put that in perspective, we're in our 4th generation today. And my team is already working on the 5th generation. That's how fast we're innovating. That's how fast this platform is evolving. And all of that, to enable the best connectivity. We were the first ISP to launch this ultra-low lag capability that opens up a world of opportunities in terms of what we're able to do, because we talked about live sports. Live, what's really unique about live is that it only happens once, right? It doesn't happen again. It's called a rerun when it happens again. And you don't want to be sitting at home watching the big game, watching your next door neighbor celebrating, and not knowing what they're celebrating about because you haven't gotten there yet, right? And this new generation of low-lag services will enable us to deliver streaming sports capabilities like never before, but that's just the beginning. That proximity, that low lag, that edge compute, would truly transform what connectivity means and what entertainment services mean and what security services mean into the future, and a lot more to come. Now, this is when everything works, right? What happens when it doesn't? Right? The reality is that the network faces more challenges because of extreme weather than ever before, okay? Now I'm gonna show you what a truly AI-powered network looks like when one of these events happen. I'm gonna show it on a hurricane that hit in September of last year, Hurricane Helene. And this hurricane ran up the coast of Florida. You kind of see the storm trajectory on the left-hand side, and kept going north. And what you're seeing on the right-hand side is a live telemetry view of red is fiber cuts, black is power outages. And when you have these storm events, the real question is going to be, where do you even begin to start to repair? Well, it's actually pretty simple. If there's no commercial power and it's unsafe to send technicians out there to restore, okay, well, then you could repair the fiber, it's not going to help, right? And if you have commercial power backup, well, let's get the guys out there and let's start to mend the actual network, because then we could restore services to our customers. Pretty simple logic, but when you do it on that scale, what we're able to do is build a new platform that does all of that in scale, that is able to prioritize how we run our storm restorations. And let me show you what that actually looks like. And so you see the storm starting to go up north, and you see the outages start to build up, and you see the calamity on power outages, et cetera. The big pocket right there in the middle is Augusta, Georgia. Total devastation. I was there, trust me, it's breathtaking. Now notice what happens as the storm starts to disappear, and you start to see the spots get smaller and smaller again. That's storm restoration. And that's prioritized storm restoration powered by our AI ops. And that's how we're able to restore services literally days ahead of our competitors by relying on this technology that is deployed nationally. It's pretty amazing when you get to see all of these live come together. And trust me, when you're on the ground, and I was, a couple days after the storm, I was down in Florida and in Augusta, and it is just breathtaking to see it in real time. As your teams are mobilizing in order to restore our customers as quickly as they possibly can. Now, threats to the network are not just physical, meaning a storm or otherwise. There's a lot of threats out there when it comes to the cyber world. Being the largest ISP out there means that we're also the largest target, and those threats are real, they're no joke. Cyber attacks are a real reality, and the network is where we can defend best. Why? Because every bit that ultimately finds its way to our customers traverses our network. So how can we detect those and blunt those in the network before they ever come close to the home, ever? And that's the technology that we've built. We blocked over 10 billion threats in the past 5 years by leveraging our advanced AI security capabilities for residential customers. And we protected our business customers over 29 billion times, and this is just in the last year, against attacks, and trust me, foreign or domestic, from anywhere from 16-year-olds in their mom's basements to foreign actors and everything in between. That's the power of the network. That's the power of our edge compute capabilities powering all of this cyber security, and we're just getting started. It only gets better. Now, remember that we talked about, I showed you kind of the edge compute cabinets, and I told you, look at that color, remember it? Everything that we do on the network is built with sustainability in mind. The color of those cabinets is no coincidence. In fact, what we found is that if we use lighter color cabinets, you need less ambient light in the facility to be able to service it. And so if you need less light, well, you consume less power. And what we're able to do, leveraging that edge compute investment that we're making, is reduce the amount of power it takes to deliver on our connectivity services by over 40%. In fact, we just announced that we're up to 49% since 2019. And we're well on our way to be able to deliver all of our services being completely carbon neutral by 2035. Given the size of our network, over 1 million miles of fiber and cable, serving 39 different states, over 64 million homes connected to our network and growing every day. That is an accomplishment that we're very, very proud of, extraordinarily proud of, and we look forward to maybe even exceeding it. We'll see. Team's working very hard on that. Now, when it really all comes together for you, for your consumers, for your communities, for your businesses, the requirements are actually pretty straightforward. You want to partner with a company that delivers on the reliability that you expect, that defends against the cybersecurity threats that we have out there, that deliver the quality services that we all rely on, that scales nationally and has done that for many, many years, and that actually has all of the expertise in-house. And many of the services and a lot of the technology that I kind of shared with you was invented right here in Denver, Colorado, and in Philadelphia, PA. And all of that is something that we're now deploying nationally. We live in our communities, we serve our communities, and we provide these services to our communities. We're here whenever you need us. Our workforce is extraordinarily dedicated and committed to delivering the best services. And we look forward to expanding our network to as many new communities as we can. We're excited to be part of the BEAD process. We're excited to be able to expand our network to as many communities as we can. In fact, this year we're building more new homes than we've ever built, and we look forward to continue to do that. And that's the network story at Comcast. This is how we work. This is the innovation that we bring together in order to serve your communities and our customers and our businesses, and we look forward to doing even more. So thank you again for having me today. I hope my network presentation didn't put anyone to bed here during lunchtime, but I really appreciate the opportunity, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Again, I want to thank Comcast for sponsoring today's